doing my report on Helen Keller, and the reason why I did it on her is because I think it's interesting how she learned how to read, write, and talk while being blind and deaf. She's famous because she was blind and deaf, and she broke the barrier between her silent, dark world and between her colorful, happy musical world. And she learned how to read, write, and talk. Unfortunately, Helen Keller is not alive today. She was born on June 27, 1880, and she died on June 1st, 1968, when she was almost 88 years old. Helen was born in Tuscumbia, Alabama. Her early childhood was like this. When she was 2, she ran around the house, but one day she got sick, very sick. But then the sickness passed. But she wasn't okay. One day when her mom was bathing her, she was no longer blinking, and so her parents rushed, and they found out that she was blind and deaf. So her parents rushed out to find a tutor and a teacher for Helen Keller. They found Annie Sullivan. When Annie Sullivan helped Helen, she taught Helen everything that she knows now. For example, reading, writing, and even talking. One of the ways that she would teach Helen words is she would like take her fingers and she would draw like letters into Helen's hand, and then for instance, water. The way she teach her that she'd write it in her hand, and then to teach her what water meant, she would take a bucket and she'd put it on Helen's hands so she could feel what water is. And her hobbies, sometimes she would give when she was older, she would give public speeches with Annie. And when they grew up, Annie took Helen to Cape Cod for her education and then to New York City. And some interesting facts is that she learned all the flower names by just smelling and feeling them, which is why I have flowers here. She learned she actually is a famous author, and she made books with Braille. So she tried to help other people who were deaf or blind so that they could read other books too. She actually became a really good reader, and Helen actually was not born being deaf and blind. She was born like a normal human being, but she got scarlet fever, and that's what made her. Because back then they didn't have a cureness to help people who have scarlet fever, so she became deaf and blind. Some quotes that she gave were, "Life is either a daring adventure or nothing." Another one is, "Keep your face to the sunshine and you can't see a shadow. Even in my dark world, there's always sunshine." And, yes. And then I brought in a quote. That's hard. "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart." Huh? No, this is her quote. She wrote this.
That must have been expensive.
Put this down.